When I meditate, am I then becoming a deliberate creator? You see, the vortex version, that's clarified everything. It's purified everything. For a while, we were talking about the awesome power of non-resisted thought.
So inside of deliberate creation, do you
We
take...
like your choice of words, really good. Inside of deliberate creation, yes?
Do you recommend taking that into meditation or setting that aside in meditation so
Really
that you're
good
free of
question. So
thought?
here's the thing. We encourage that meditation be only this: quiet my mind and therefore allow my vibration to rise. But then the momentum of your connection and the power of law of attraction and your inner being will take it into deliberate creation on steroids. What we like to say is tune in and then watch the movie. Don't try to make the movie in order to tune in. Accept the natural alignment and then. And you see, all of the ingredients of that are already in the vortex. So as you connect with who you really are, then those things begin occurring. And as you just relax and let your mind wander. Esther had a meditation like that this morning where she quieted her mind and then the movie just played. And in the past, she thought that her objective in meditation was to quiet her mind. So as soon as thoughts started flowing, she shut them down. Now she understands that those kind of good feeling thoughts, when they start flowing, let them flow. Let the momentum take them, but don't try to orchestrate them from a conscious perspective, because remember that you are the receiver of them, not the projector of them. You're connecting with source so that you can receive the perspective of source. And in time, you won't be able to tell the difference, since you're the translator of the vibration into the visions, into the impulses, into the words. It's like such mutual attraction from each other. It doesn't matter who's doing what. But there's something really letting goingness. There's something really allowing, like when you have the awareness that you're watching the movie, not creating the movie. And your question really pointedly asks that. When I meditate, am I then becoming a deliberate creator? You're becoming a deliberate allower of what you've already created.
And so I think this is it. So give up the desire to edit what's playing out.
Yeah, stop nitpicking and justifying and validating and defending. Just step onto that side of the page where you say, am I good or am I bad? I'm good. Am I worthy or am I unworthy? I'm worthy. Am I good at this or am I bad at this? I'm good at this. Am I an extension of source energy or am I the devil? There's no devil. I'm an extension of source energy. Am I liking this or is it hard? I love this. Yeah.
So from meditation to deliberate allowing, I then go out into my life, or let's say that's kind of my morning and I'm now in my life. Can you shed...
Before we go there, can you hold that question just for a moment? Because we want to go back to an analogy that we offered earlier that we think speaks even more pointedly to the direction of your questions, and then take us there where you want to go. So that picture of meditation that we helped you find, of withdrawing from the chaos deliberately by tuning to the silence and allowing your vibration to rise, and then how in that room lovely things just started manifesting in your mind all around you. We just wanted to take you back to that because it's a new thing that we have not said before, and it really speaks to the question that you just asked. You create a nucleus that allows the experience that you then witness. So it's really interesting, this business of, the question was asked earlier, what's the difference between the allowing and the deliberate creating? Well, they're sort of kind of the same thing. Life has caused you to indeliberately put a lot of it in the vortex, and now you're deliberately allowing, and now the manifestations at all levels of your being are occurring. And so, now take us where you were going.
So now I'm in life, and
I'm in life. We like your distinction. So what you're saying is, I'm out of the fantasy of the vortex. Is that what you mean?
yeah, well, yeah.
And now I'm going back into real life. Let's just make sure that we mean what we mean with that. So now I've tuned to the best of life. I'm ready to step into it.
I guess that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, that's what we want you to say. We set you up for that a little bit with our analogy, because it was like we asked you to withdraw from the chaos and tune to source, and now it feels to you like now you have to walk back into the chaos. But it's not like that, because the fact that you've tuned to the source made the chaos go away. Oh, it'll come back, but not right away. And the more you withdraw from the chaos into the stability of what's really going on, the more what you're calling real life will take on the contours of this, of the source, of the vision, of the imagination, the vortex version. You see, the vortex version, that's clarified everything. It's purified everything. It's taken the resistance out of everything. And it's going to manifest. It's going to manifest. And the more you tune to it, the more ready you are, and therefore the more likely it is that those pieces will manifest into your experience. This is the distinction. Remember when we said that your inner being never looks back? So you've meditated, you've found that place. Are you going back into real life or forward into real life?
Okay. Yeah, so I like that. And here's my experience then of going forward into real life is, okay, everyone raise your hand, and then you find the person and call on that person to come. And for me, sometimes the experience is like, which hand am I calling on?
There's benefit in every one of them. We could find benefit everywhere, and you can too.
Great. So then in the mastery aspect, you said give up the sacrifice and the hard work and the effort.
We want to give a new definition to mastery in the pleasury, and see how just the description of the word automatically gives up all that other stuff, because mastery is tuning to the satisfaction, following the bliss, tuning to the pleasury.
So the pleasury. So then that goes, does that tie back into my the moments of selfish pursuit of the next best good feeling thought or desire?
The mastery or the pleasury hooks you completely with your inner being who only looks forward, who has no resistance.
So my mastery comes from pleasury. Pleasury comes through pleasury.
Yeah. For a while, we were talking about the awesome power of non-resisted thought. And now we want to say the awesome pleasure of non-resisted thought. But, hey, it's all good. Don't try to hold yourself to only non-resisted thought. Let yourself have some step ones. Satisfy your reason for being. Let that side of the equation produce more of this side of the equation. There will be no expansion of your desire and no evolution of your species if you don't live all of it. Just understand what step you're taking. And eventually, that step one, which is the asking, will mostly be a step 5 position, where you're asking for more, and you know that you're asking for more, or you're even observing something unwanted, but you find the humor in it, and the fun in it, and the clarity in it, and the motion forward in it, and finally, you're not beating yourself up for having a question. You're not beating yourself up for having a problem. A problem calls a solution. And that's expansion. That's motion forward. It's all so wonderful. Yeah.
May I add a couple other? There are people in my life who sitting here today, would say I've chosen to have them as part of my life for the duration of my life. So this would include members of family. And I also heard you say, but ignore, if there isn't pleasure there or good things coming from that interaction, ignore it. I feel like by ignoring it, like I may offend, for example, that person of the family or those
here's
relationships.
The thing. You can't ignore something without looking at something else. Think about it this way. Think about the whole consciousness of the planet, everybody on the planet. And think about how, as you find a vibrational set point, that you light up there, and then those that are matched to you light up too, and that's your world.
Will you say that one more time?
So imagine that this carpet is a light board, and there are thousands of little LED lights on this board, and you're one of them. What you're focused upon represents one of those lights. So you focus with your source energy about something in appreciation. So you light up. Now, every light on the board that's a match to you lights up too. And that, and only that, equals your now world. Nothing else do you have access to. So you're not going to rendezvous with them in traffic or in the grocery store or anywhere. And the more consistently you are that, then the more consistently that's your world. So in the same way that there's this world that represents this light board, or a world that we are demonstrating with this light board, every person you know has wanted and unwanted things that match their vortex and things that don't match their vortex, things that match your vortex and things that don't match your vortex. So now we want to say, talking about deliberate creation, when you say, I'm not going to think about that anymore, I'm going to ignore it, you're thinking about it. I'm not going to think about that thing I'm thinking about anymore. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to notice that. I'm not going to think about it. Yes, you are. I'm not going to think about that anymore. I'm not going to think about it. Yes, you are. So there's no such thing as ignoring, really, but there is selectively sifting what you're thinking about. So if you're finding something in that person that you adore or that you appreciate, you're not ignoring them. You're activating a different part of them in your vibration. You're calling a different point of attraction. And nobody feels ignored when they're loved like that.
I think this then leads to my final question. So when I'm going forward in life, I struggle to discern what is showing up because of my vortex versus I walked into someone else's vortex.
Well, it's attraction, attraction, attraction. So let's say it's your vortex and they've got it going on and you walk in and they attract it from you. What difference does it make? Don't try to manage the law of attraction. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. It only matters how it feels when you discern it.
Okay. So choose the pleasure
in
whatever's happening around me, regardless of...
And if it doesn't feel good, ignore it by choosing the part of it that does feel good.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Clear.
Well, this is so much fun. It's so fun to be a deliberate creator. Enough? Really good. Really good. Really good.